pretty rank day for England. I mean, it doesn't really get worse than what we've just seen. I mean, Pakistan finished the day 328 for four. Abdullah Shafiq, 102 of 185. Shah Masood played an unbelievable captain's knock, 151 off 177. Barbara Azam, 30 as he was out LBW to Wokes. Ayub out for four. I mean, he must have said in the dressing room that it was doing a bit. I mean, England just didn't bowl very well today. I thought that they would do a lot better, but I don't know. It just this pitch is flat, and I think that we've got to remember that this pitch is incredibly flat. But still, just to be that far off the pace, I mean, Wokes didn't look like he knew how to bowl. I mean, there's a reason that we haven't picked him in an away series for a very, very long time now. I mean, he hasn't played a test in Asia in what, 8 years? I mean, it's tough that he's actually going through this. I mean, he finished 1 for 58, made it look good that he picked up the wicket of Barbara Azam, and I think that was probably more the light bit of tiredness. I don't know. And Barbara Azam not being in great form again, felt like he was falling over himself a little bit. Caught LBW on leg stump. I mean, that ball should have been flicked away and gone for four, cutting it back a little bit, but just played all around it. I mean, I feel sorry for Azam because I think that he's a really, really good player, but just can't seem to get himself into any form. I mean, his run of form this year, like in this World Test Championship in the last year, he's averaging like 20. I mean, it's really, really rough. I mean, if I look at his stats, what is he averaging for 2024 at this point? 2024, he's averaging 20. 2023 was 22. Um, he hasn't, so he hasn't scored a 50 or 100 since 2022. I mean, he was like the best player in the world at one point, and he's just all over the place. I feel for him. I do. Shah Masood scores his first ton since he scored one in England during COVID time. His first one as captain until he was caught and bowled Leach. I thought Leach bowled okay today. I thought he was slightly defensive. I do think that that defensive mindset is what England lacked today. I feel like they were pushing for wickets a little bit too much. I thought that they could have kind of taken a step back and thought, okay, if we go at 2 runs and over here, is it going to be a massive issue? I don't think it is. I mean, I think Pakistan would have given you a mistake at some point. So why not just let them make the mistake rather than, okay, 18 overs into the day, we're going short ball. And then, I mean, for the first two sessions, Pakistan scored at like 4.5, 5 and over. I mean, they were really going some. I mean, Shah Masood brought up a runnable century. He slowed down slightly after his century, but still not much. Still a strike rate of 85. I mean, that satisfied Baz ball, Shan ball, Jice ball, Rohit ball, whatever you want to call it, cum ball. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That's exactly what it was. Atkinson picked up two. I thought he played okay because in his first away test. Cast did a job. He was asked to run in and bowl short, and he's tall, he's quick, he's South African, and he bowls a heavy ball. That's kind of why he's there. Would I have rather had Potts there today? Maybe. I think that he's got a lot more skill than actually all of the bowlers that were bowling today. I don't understand why they're so avert to picking him. I mean, he's gained like an extra yard of pace. I mean, it's not like Gus Atkinson was up at kind of 90 today. He was around 83, 84. I mean, it wasn't special. I mean, Potts has been bowling that. I know it was hot. I understand that. Like, it was like 36, 38 degrees today, but I don't know. I thought that they could be better with the ball. Bashir looked awful. He really didn't look good. 0 for 71 from his 18 overs. I still don't understand how England managed to only bowl 86 overs today when they had they had 42 overs of spin. So half the overs of spin today were bowled, half the overs bowled today were spin, and they were still behind the run rate, like or the over rate. Like how do we get to this point? How do we get that we can't even get 90 overs in a day when half the overs being bowled are spin? I mean, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. England have got to do something special tomorrow. Now, it would be interesting to see what happens when two teams bat on this surface because I think it is flat. I think it is a road. I think England are going to enjoy batting on this. And it's going to be very similar to how they batted last time they were in Pakistan a couple of years ago when we scored 500 in a day or whatever it was. I'd imagine that that's going to happen. But I mean, we've got to bowl Pakistan out. I mean, if you're England, 420, you'd probably snap their arm off at that at the moment. I don't know. It's Pakistan. If this is India, I'm saying they're getting 600. If this is Australia, I'm saying they're getting 600 on this pitch. It's Pakistan. Okay. I like Pakistan cricket, but everyone knows that they could very, very well fall apart for 350 tomorrow because that's the mercurial Pakistan, and you don't really know what they're going to do next. I mean, you got to get rid of the night watchman. There's not loads of batting to come. Rizwan's in next. Agar, never pronounce his name, can bat a bit, but it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. England have got to bowl better. They've got to stick to the plan. I didn't think Pope looked great today. I always think that Brooks should probably be the captain rather than Pope, but probably not going to happen. I don't know. Pope's vice captain. I think we're going to really realise that we made a mistake when it came to putting Pope as captain rather than having Brooke or Crawley or someone like that. If Crawley wasn't injured, would they? I don't know. Pope's still vice captain. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But Pakistan are massively on top in this game. I don't think that it's necessarily now guaranteed that Pakistan are going to win the game. Because as I said, I could see them being bowled out for less than 400. If they're bowled out for less than 400, England are well and truly in the game. You'd imagine that England are going to make at least 400 in their first innings. I don't know how much this pitch is going to deteriorate with the sun beating down at 38 degrees. I mean, you'd imagine when it comes around to day 4, day 5, spin will come into it. But again, I mean, Pakistan have only picked one frontline spinner. They haven't. They've picked. It was Abra Ahmed, wasn't it? Is their only frontline spinner, and he's been useless. I mean, they've got a bit of part time elsewhere, but it's not looking great if you want spin to take your 10 wickets on day 4 and day 5. And Abra Ahmed, who's averaging about 100 this year with the ball, isn't probably going to do the job for you. But well batted Pakistan, put themselves in a really good position, done exactly what they needed to do. I mean, being 261 for 1, maybe they would have wanted a bit more, 328 for 4 at the end of play, but I think you've got to be happy with it. Now, quick update, T20 Women's World Cup is on at the moment. England have just played their second game tonight versus South Africa. They ended up winning that. They are the only team at the moment that have won 2 games from 2. I'd imagine Australia go 2 from 2, but New Zealand have a chance as well. But that Aussie side looks probably too good. My pick would be Australia-England final from all the cricket that I've seen so far. Pakistan are 1-1, India are 1-1, Sri Lanka have lost both of their games in Group A, West Indies are 1-1, South Africa are 1-1, Bangladesh are 1-1, and Scotland have lost both of their games. My pick to go through: South Africa and England from Group B, India and Australia from Group A. Now, New Zealand beating India is going to make it very, very difficult, I think, for India to get through. But it's India. I think they'll find a way. That's what Indian teams do. Um, it should be. I don't know. I don't know. You just imagine that they'll find a way through. It will be interesting to see what happens in the New Zealand Australia game tomorrow. But I do think that Australia are going to take that. I'd imagine Australia go through the group unbeaten. I think England go through the group unbeaten. I do think it will be them two in the final. I think that those two are probably the best 2 women's teams in the world. And I think that's probably because they've got the 2 best franchises in the world in the 100 and the WPL for the women's game. I think that helps. I think there's a reason that India are becoming dominant in the men's game as well because of the IPL, and I think the WPL is only going to do that for Indian cricket on the women's side. But I mean, all the games have been enjoyable. I mean, they've been relatively low scoring, but it's been good fun to watch. I don't mind a low scoring T20 as long as it's close towards the end. And most of the games have been. There's been a couple of one-sided ones, but you're always going to find that. Next, India versus Bangladesh T20I series. Bangladesh get bowled out for 127. India score 132 for 3 in 11.5 overs. They make it look very simple. Now, the issue that I have with this series is that India plays so much cricket, I don't even know what's happening. I mean, they've just finished a test series against Bangladesh, and now they've got a completely new team that's playing in a T20 series against Bangladesh. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, fair play to them for cracking on, but Wow. I mean, that is a lot of cricket that India have, and they do need to have about 4 different teams to be able to play it. And after this series, like 3 days later, they're playing a 3-test series against India. No, against New Zealand. And then when that's done, they've got a white ball series versus South Africa in South Africa. When that's done, they've got the Border Gavaskar in Australia. And then when that's done, they've got England back in India. And then they've got the Champions Trophy. And then they'll have another white ball series. Then they'll have another test series. They just never stop playing cricket. I know Indians love cricket and that they have kind of TV quotas that they need to fill. But Jesus, that is a lot of cricket that this team is playing. Even if you've got 2 different teams, I mean, fair play to them. Bangladesh going to get hammered in that series. That T20 team for India, even if it's missing some players, is still really good. But guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I very much hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave a like. Please remember to subscribe. I will be trying to do one of these videos every single day. So if you do enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you put that bell notification on, and you'll get notified every time I upload. They'll go up around 8, 9 o'clock UK time every day, whatever time that is. 1 a.m. Pakistan time, 2:30 Indian time. I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning, New Zealand, Australia time, and whatever else time it is in the rest of the world. But I do hope you enjoy it. If you would like me to add anything, like me to talk about any other cricket, let me know down in the comments below. Anything that you'd like to see going forward, any changes to the channel, and I'll try to action it as much as I can. I'm going away from kind of cricket gaming content. It's not really something that I want to do. This is more something that I want to do from now on. So I hope you understand that. I hope you still enjoy it. I hope you like to hear my dulcet tones, whether I'm talking about cricket or I'm playing a cricket game or whatever I'm doing. But I hope you do enjoy it. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.